Hey, Formula One fans, wanted to drop a quick video on the Department of Justice here in the United States investigating Formula One for their rejection of the Andretti Cadillac application to be the 11th team on the grid. And there's a couple things they're looking at. One, whether the rejection was actually fair. I guess they can look at the entire application process. There are 3 Formula One races here in the United States, and Liberty Media, the parent company that owns Formula One, is also located here in the United States. And one of the 10 teams that is on the grid currently is a United States-based team, or at least a United States-owned team. So there are substantial prongs into Formula One that the Department of Justice can get at them by. Now, one of the concerns that the Department of Justice had mentioned was really anti-competitiveness concerns, being that other car companies have cars and teams sponsored in this global sport, specifically Mercedes and McLaren, to name 2 as an example, and that they would be intentionally holding down or pushing out Cadillac, which was part of the Cadillac Andretti bid. So there are some anti-competitive, let's say, concerns or justifications that they can look to bring this investigation to Formula One. Now, Formula One, it should be noted, was really hard on Andretti Cadillac in their rejection, stating they're not bringing anything to the brand of Formula One, and in fact, they may be gaining themselves, and really dismissed Andretti, his entire global racing network, his history, everything that he has accomplished. They really kind of dismissed, I think, in an offensive way. And I wasn't initially for an 11th team on the grid. I had changed my mind as the process went on, just because I do think at some point you can add 1 or 2 more teams. But the way they dismissed Andretti Cadillac, specifically Cadillac being a part of GM, I did think was pretty offensive to them. So I think where Formula One might have a little bit of trouble is, the FIA, which is the overarching governing body, they vetted and reviewed all of the applications. They took money, fees, reviewed all of the paperwork, and then pushed Andretti Cadillac further along in the process. So to say Formula One come out and say, well, they didn't clear our vetting process, but yet they clearly passed the FIA governing vetting process, which is the overarching body that governs your sport, is a complete 180. And it does feel like there are some personal reasons, maybe for Andretti and his team and his family, that some of the other teams within Formula One do not like. But I don't think that he should have been rejected, and certainly not in the way that rejection letter that came to Andretti Cadillac. If you read it, I thought it was pretty bad and not accurate at all. If you don't like the guy, just, find other reasons, but don't. I didn't think that the letter was justified in the rejection of Andretti Cadillac. So, at least for the reasons that they listed. Now, that being said, what can the Department of Justice do? I don't know. I imagine there can be fines, very large fines, moving forward. So if the Department of Justice then completes their investigation, says, you know what, there was some impropriety here, and we're going to fine you, and who knows how much that could be, right? 50 million, 100 million, 700 million. If they're going to fine them, I would think it would be very high, really, to tamper it down. They can assign, I guess, like a special master to oversee the process for the next go-around when the applications are accepted again. They could put different rules and regulations for Formula One while they're competing here in the United States. So there's a number of things they can do besides, obviously, say, forcing them to accept the Andretti bid, which is really kind of already done and over with. What you'd be looking at is the next go-around for applications. So that might be where they can really flex their muscle. It's not like they're going to say you have to accept Andretti right now, Andretti Cadillac. Um, but the fines and the oversight could really be substantial. So that's what we would have to look at moving forward. And I think, let me know what you think about the Department of Justice investigation. Congress was also looking at it too. I don't know if they're going to have additional hearings, but whenever you have the United States Congress looking into something, it's not a good thing. I don't think for Formula One. There's a lot of grandstanding, and it's not good. So that's where we are with the Department of Justice investigation. We will see where it goes if and when a report is issued, and if they find any fault, what kind of consequences they would assign to Formula One. Now, once again, this is separate from the FIA, which is the overarching governing body of, obviously quite a bit of motorsport, including Formula One. So that's my take. Let me know what you think. Drop something in the comments. I do hope Andretti Cadillac ultimately gets on the grid as the 11th team. They seem qualified to me. I think it would bring some excitement. Whether they would be competitive or not, some of these teams go up, some of them go down. Audi is coming in. There's no guarantee that Audi will be competitive. There's no guarantee that they won't come out like fire right out the box. And I think the same thing is for Andretti. So obviously the teams have a big stake in, the cutting of the pie, the prize money at the end of the season as well. That's a concern. But, if the Department of Justice comes out with a massive fine, that might be coming out of their pocket as well. So that's my take. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Paddock Headquarters out.